Good evening, everyone. My name is David Greer, and thank you for inviting me to this bowling.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And thank you for allowing me this time. Contrary to popular belief, I feel that I have to tell you about me, what I've done, and where I come from, because I haven't ran that many times. So I don't have any losses in my portfolio as of yet. But I was born and raised in Dayton, Ohio. I've lived here all my life. I went to Patterson Co-op High School. I graduated in 1972. During that schooling, Patterson Co-op was a vocational high school where when you became a sophomore, you went into your vocational field and you worked for 2 weeks and went to school 2 weeks. That was a very enlightening experience for 16-year-olds at that time of their life, because it introduced them into the workforce, and it also introduced them into the government infrastructures that our society is governed by. So I worked for Wright-Patterson Air Force Base for 31 years. In the mid-70s, I was diagnosed with low blood sugar, and I was a firefighter. And the fire department, against the prognosis of my doctors, who had returned me back to work with a clean bill of health, they said that I was disqualified as a firefighter. Well, I felt that was an injustice, and that is what led me to start to make sure that I stood up for those injustices, because I experienced it myself. And as I went from one job to another, I was able to complete a career of 31 years working for the federal government, and it gave me a lot of experience as far as processes, procedures, and protocols is concerned. So I started working in my community. In 1996, I bought a home in the present Jane Reese neighborhood where I still reside. And within about, say, 4 or 5 months, I met a woman who was the president of the Jane Reese Neighborhood Association. She talked me into joining the neighborhood association. Well, at first I was a little reluctant because I had just moved into the neighborhood. It was a nice neighborhood. I enjoyed it from day one. And so I finally made a decision to become active in my community by joining the neighborhood association. After maybe 2 years, the membership of the neighborhood association, as well as the priority board, which is the Northwest Priority Board, which our neighborhood association was a part of, the membership started gravitating to me to take a leadership position. So I was assigned to different boards throughout the community, and then in 2000, I was elected vice chairman of the Northwest Priority Board. So that is when my tenure of leadership in the community started. I have been the chairman of the Northwest Priority Board since 2005 to the present. During that tenure, I have dealt with any and everything that you could imagine as far as those things out in the community that citizens need help with. The priority boards being that conduit for the citizens, we are the ones that push the buttons, and we're substantiated by an ordinance as the priority boards presently are constructed. We would be that voice, the official voice of the citizens. We would field calls daily. I still get anywhere from 4 to 5 calls a week from residents who have an issue with trash, who have an issue with potholes, who have an issue with the crime and violence. You have to be that sounding board. And over the years, I've learned to be that sounding board and to react. And my reaction always consisted of going to the city commission and confronting them about the lack of open lines of communication. If you don't have those lines of communication open, then you will not be able to keep or place the citizens first. They will always end up getting served on the tail end. We've been in that position too long. You know, I tried for 14 years to work within the structure that allowed the citizens to be a part of the government infrastructure through the priority boards, through the neighborhood association, through the other community-oriented organizations. And it gets so far and then nothing is done about it. So my decision to run for city commission was so that I could work from the inside and help to enhance the type of synergy and enhance the opportunity to listen to the people and to show the people that they matter. A lot of people in conversations that I'm in feel that the city does not care about them because the bureaucracy always gets in the way of them answering their questions or providing the service that they need. We have a lot of crime and violence in our communities, and there's our initiatives to address that primarily by enhancing the relationship between the police department and the citizens. But we've got a long way to go, you know, but at least that is one vehicle that can help to foster the type of cohesiveness that we need as our communities and as our city. You know, there's got to be more attention paid to what the citizens need based on the economic times, based on the lack of jobs. And you hear all the times, what do we need? Well, we need more jobs. Well, that's true, but there's a lot associated with bringing jobs to the city. You know, we've got a lot of areas that have vacant land. We have a lot of areas that's got uninhabitable structures on it, you know, that these investors, they look at that, you know, and they do not want to come in areas where there's blight, although that blight can be cleaned up. I've seen the city clean blighted areas in order for investors to come in. So that is just an excuse, you know, but it's time for us to disallow for those excuses that we continuously hear and voice what we definitely need and want. So I feel that by being a city commissioner, that I can help to change the mindset. I can help to implement those components of accountability, which needs to be put in place, not just so much for our elected officials, but for the citizens as well. We have to take ownership for our communities, and we have to be accountable for our part of being citizens. You know, there's always the need for citizens to pick up their telephone and call and report this and report that. And we get frustrated because we do not get any residual from it. But we've got to change our mindsets to whereas we just keep calling until we do get some results from it. You know, it's very easy for me to speak about what we as citizens can do to assist the enhancement that is needed for our community, because I've lived it, you know. I've lived it by going to so many different meetings, by going before the city commission, as I said previously, and voicing those concerns and not getting any type of response, not even the professional courtesy of the letters that I present, because there's not one time that I've been before the city commission that I did not provide a written document to each one of the commissioners and the mayor. And I really felt that that was very disrespectful, you know, for you not to even answer. you know, just because you do not want to commit to doing what the citizens elected you to do, and that is to provide those services for the citizens. So, my reason, again, for running for city commissioner is to work on the inside, to help change the mindsets, to enhance what needs to primarily be enhanced, and that is to be inclusive of the citizens, because once you've got that allegiance of the citizens, there's nothing that we cannot do. The system has broken parts to it, but it's not a complete failing system. But with the inclusion of the citizens and the input of the citizens directly in the decision-making processes can contribute to the city prospering more. Thank you. Yes. Are there any questions for me?
I'll start. One of the things in the city is housing, and this downtown Dayton partnership and others proposed housing at Deeds Park, whereas the neighborhood association, McCook Field Neighborhood Association's position is that that site be used for green space or recreational use. Would you listen to neighborhoods on issues such as that? And I know the great downtown Dayton plan is a good thing overall, but it also has to be something that listens to the people that surround downtown. So what's your feeling on that issue?
Well, depending on the area that you're speaking of, and you mentioned downtown, there's a lot of areas where there's plans to do green space. The number one question that I come up with is, well, why can't we put infill houses or build homes for people to move into them? Because we've got a lot of homeless people. Why can't we rehab some homes instead of demolishing most of them? Now I understand that having green spaces is a commodity, and it helps to enhance one's psyche through that about nature. But what do we do with the people who need housing? What's the priority? There has to be some type of equation implemented to whereas it looks at everything as opposed to just taking an idea or concept and running with it.
In that particular case, the proposal was to build 200 townhouses on what is a park. And so that's our concern. Anybody else have